On July 15, 2017, the former chief of Disney Parks and Resorts, Bob Chapek, took the stage at the annual D23 Expo and announced their plans on a new Star Wars adventure for the Disney World, Florida. It's called the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and he said that, quote, "That is not an attraction, nor a ride, nor a hotel, but an innovative vacation experience that is first of its kind." Understandably, Star Wars and Disney fans were very much excited about the idea of being able to enjoy Star Wars story in real life, and nevertheless, 5 years and $400 million in construction later, they got exactly that in the spring of 2022. At least for a little while before Disney decided to completely cease its operations and set it up for demolition instead. It's not unusual to see theme park expansions that are simply not well received by the public to undergo discontinuations, but the Star Cruiser was not one of them, if not the exact opposite. It's one of the very rare occasions that all the three fundamental guiding forces, the press, the actual visitors, and Twitter, agreeing on the same thing. At best, Star Cruiser is by far one of the greatest experiences Disney has ever created, if not the greatest. Or, at worst, it's fine, but never outright horrible. Almost all the major media outlets said the same thing, whereas one of the best trip advisor scores in the Disney World at 4.5 out of 5, just behind Avatar: The Flight of Passage and even surpassing the billion-dollar Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So what really happened? Why did Disney cancel its most ambitious theme park project ever? Why did the Star Wars Hotel fail? Someone would argue the theme park business in the US is a gold mine, a $24 billion gold mine to be exact. And if there's anyone who knows that, it's Disney, because even though we know them as a movie and TV company, the majority of their profit comes from parks and parks alone. 8 out of the 11 most visited theme parks around the world are owned or licensed by the Walt Disney Company. This is Disneyland California, the first ever Disney park, and at the top there's the Disney World, the most famous and the biggest theme park on earth. Keep that in mind and we'll get back to it. While all of this were happening, the new Star Wars movies have proven to be very successful, not only being hits amongst audiences and critics, but as well as passing the billion-dollar mark in the box office. In other words, in matter of several years, Star Wars has become the 4th highest grossing media franchise and the 2nd highest grossing movie franchise just behind Marvel, which is also a great moneymaker owned by Disney. When Bob Chapek saw these numbers, he did what any good executive would do. He tried to capitalize. In April of 2017, Disney hired a third-party agency to run a survey to see if people are interested in a Star Wars-themed hotel with a theater-like story that they have to interact with. From the start, Disney was in a hunt for making multi-million-dollar bets with their theme parks, especially if there's a lot of money to be made. Even the man himself, Walt Disney, has publicly stated that he created the Disney World to be their experimental dump land. After waiting for several weeks, the survey came to be positive and showed the interest in people, so without waiting anymore, they greenlit the project to start alongside with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in order to minimize the risk as much as possible. Disney gave the designers and the artists the two things they seek for most: unlimited creative freedom and an enormous amount of money to cover that. And as expected, it worked. The end result was a 100-room, 2-night-stay hotel with lightsaber training, fights, droid competitions, and other Star Wars-related activities. The Star Cruiser's attention to detail is so precise, the creators didn't even think about sacrificing anything. Every inch from the entrance to the end hallway was made to reassemble a real Star Wars spaceship. Even the little things like the doors are controlled by a special smartphone app. But the problem was that these adjustments adds up to the budget in a major way. And that's where things started to fall apart for Disney. After several surges in the budget, the final construction cost of the Star Cruiser is around $400 million, which makes it the third most expensive addition to a theme park in the past half a decade. Yes, this number might not seem like a lot, but when you consider that Universal Studios built an entire Super Mario World with $580 million and Disney themselves made the 14-acre Galaxy's Edge in the Disneyland with $1 billion, the cost of this small-sized hotel gets absurd. Even as a hotel, the construction cost of the Star Cruiser is 300% higher than your 5-star 100-room hotel investment average of just $100 million. Simply put, this is a major financial mismanagement. Disney's way to gain all of that capital back is by pricing the starter package at $4,800 for 2 guests and all the way up to $6,000. And clearly, this did not work long term. Not only this leaves out the majority of the Star Wars fans out of the water, even for those who can afford, the price is simply not worth it when you consider that a 2-night luxury hotel stay in Florida will only cost someone around $1,000. And that's a 80% difference. Okay, pause right there. The hotel cost $1,000 for 1 night, not for 2 nights. Sorry about that was a mistake from my side. But still, it's significantly less than the Star Cruiser's price. Alright, let's get back to it. Or just simply visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which has almost the same experience for just $300. Star Cruiser was a marketing nightmare for the lack of the same reason. It was no easy food. There is no straightforward definition for the Star Cruiser. It's not a hotel, it's not a theme park, not a game, not a theater piece or an actual cruise, which makes advertising a very tough nut to crack. You basically have to ask guests to take a chance, but most people are not comfortable with a $6,000 gamble. Make no mistake, even though this is a tremendous disappointment for Disney, they know very well how to make back money even from their biggest losses. Just take a look at this annual earnings file. In a very classic corporate way, the Walt Disney management has accused the Star Cruiser's low bookings and higher prices on, you guessed it, inflation. And they are using the project as a $250 million tax write-off.